All right, good evening, everyone. We can go ahead and call the meeting in order this time, please. Turn off cell phones and electronic devices, put vibrate or off. And Mr. Fuentes, would you please lead us in our prayer and pledge this evening, sir?
Lord, we thank you for the blessings that you give us each day. We ask to heal all the sick during this holiday season. We ask to bless everyone during the holidays to and from family travel. Be with our troops overseas that they may celebrate as well. In your name we pray. Amen.
The flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. All right, consider approval of the minutes of the November 21st, 2016 meeting. So that time to review.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes with no corrections.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, visitors who are not on the regular agenda will be given the opportunity to address the council on any subject at this time. Well, since the gallery is so full, you're the only one. Do you have anything, or are you just here? Just hanging out? Wow. Amazing. Thank you.
Notice he sat on the second row. If you sit one row ahead, you'll be on YouTube.
Oh, okay, so that's my
All right, discuss and take action to select a CPA for the city's annual audit for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2016. You have two proposals, I believe, in your packet. One from our current, Mr. Bowman, and then from a new one.
Galen Fulton.
Thank you. You want to comment on those, sir?
Ricky Bowman is the auditor that we currently use. He's done the audit the last 3 years. Is that right, Bo?
Yeah.
Four. Okay. I knew he was here before. We haven't had any specific issues with Ricky. There's some concern about the lack of municipalities that he actually does audits for. When I asked him how many cities do you do, he said, we do two, you and the city of Roscoe. And he does primarily school districts, and he does primarily cotton gins and things of that nature. And there's nothing wrong with those entities. But a city operates a little differently than the school district does, and certainly operates differently than the cotton gin does. Gaylor Fulton, we discovered her, or was exposed to her, I should say, through a group called Texas Midwest Community Network. She sponsored a number of events with that network. And I think Darlene and Bonita probably had some conversations with her at some of those meetings, as well as I. I went to Abilene and interviewed her about a month ago. I was very impressed with her. She used to work for another accounting firm in Abilene that had worked for me previously in Anson. And so I was very comfortable with her. She's very knowledgeable about the auditing process, our controls, things of that nature. She understands how the city operates. That being said, if you're asking me for a recommendation, I like Gayla. We can work with both. We have before in the past. And so I do want to make a distinction. Gayla did put her price in there, wasn't required, but she did put a price of $25,000. I think Ricky's what, 20?
18.
Okay. Did he go up?
No.
Okay.
And that's just up to, right?
Yes. Yes.
So they're not to exceed number.
Yes.
Has he hit the 18,000 every year?
Probably 9 for the general and 9 for the water sewer.
So Brian, Mr. Bowman's done you a good job.
Mr. Bowman's done a good job. We did have some issues last year. He kept referring to us. In fact, he made a comment that if the TEA ever came in and audited our books, we'd be in trouble. And I said, if TEA ever came in, I'd give them our books and a sandwich and tell them to go have fun. TEA, we don't receive any state aid. We receive no state dollars at all. And there was some confusion there. And that became a credibility issue with me, clearly, Mr. Bowman has pointed out some things that we've addressed in last year's audit and that we're continuing to address today, as a matter of fact.
Well, this must be kind of a standard contract, because the verbiage is kind of the same between the two.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't, that savings jumped out at me.
Yes, sir, it does. It does. I think the 20 I got, that's what we budgeted for, right? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that Gayla's lowest number?
I have not had conversations about price with her. When you do these services, you typically don't negotiate price until, it's a weird thing the statute has. You can go into agreement and then negotiate the price back down, but you're really not supposed to be.
So, because we're gonna have to do,
But Brian, the kicker is not to exceed that. She may come under that, or he might come under that.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
my concern with Bowman has been, over the last 4 years, a lot of his feedback is not necessarily valuable. I mean, it's a, he was telling us how to run our water plant. And I was like, how about you just do the audit? And we'll run the other side of the equation. And so some of my concerns are with government accounting in particular, it's a totally different animal than for-profit accounting.
Yes.
And there just seemed to be some question on my side, as to whether or not we were getting a full audit with respect to governmental accounting, because that's what I want to make sure we don't trip. I mean, because there are statutes and regulations that we have to follow that just other people just don't have to follow. Now, is that worth $7,000? I don't know if that's worth $7,000. If it was going to be a $7,000 difference, because you're right, both of them.
I have not discussed price with Gayla. She called me this afternoon and when are we going to know something? When will we know something? And I said, well, we'll know something this evening for sure. I hate to put words in your mouth, but I think that 25,000 is somewhat negotiable, but I certainly don't want to bank on that. The $7,000 is significant. It is a major difference in the price between the two. I know I would be comfortable with Gayla. I think I would be comfortable with Ricky. Just simply because Ricky's going to compare us to a standard that we don't operate off of. Ricky's going to compare us to a standard of the ISD. Ricky's going to compare us to a standard of a nonprofit like the college, for example. It's governmental accounting, but there are business practices and business principles involved in that as well. And so, either way we go, we're going to be good. I was asked for a preference. That's my preference, but that doesn't mean I can't work with the other. I can work with either.
Well, it'd be nice for us to when we have feedback, if we need to change something, that they could tell us how several other cities do it, as opposed to, this is a standard that's out there.
If you look functionally how Roscoe operates and how the city of Ballinger operates, it's not even close. Roscoe does not have a water treatment plant. Roscoe doesn't have the depth of services that we do. That we
Beyond that,
provide.
it's just one city,
Exactly.
as opposed to several cities.
Exactly.
That's my,
She could tell you how Stanford operates. She could tell you how, I'm trying to think of the other, that Kaiser did. I want to say they use Clyde as well. Trying to think of cities of like size around us. Cisco is another one. I think they do. But the 7,000 is differences there. If you want to, can they make a motion to accept an audit up to a certain number and then we can put a not to exceed number?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, not to exceed.
because we have 20,000 budgeted, so if you set it at 20,000, then we can counter Gala and say, we have 20,000 budgeted, if you can do it for 20,000, great, if you can't, then we'll move on. And that way our budget number is there, we don't have to go over the budget. If you want to set that at 2,250, we can find $2,250 in the budget to transfer over to the audit, into audit. But, if y'all want to put a parameter on this, we can go with it from there. Or if you want to make a decision, pull the trigger one way or the other, we can do that as well.
My only thing is that with Gala, I've had that experience with Mr. Bowman. And Clark's right, there were some things that the way he would talk to the council about amendments and things, and it was like, okay, it's not very good.
He made some assumptions that were far from accurate. He made the assumption that you guys had no idea of the debt you were issuing when we'd go out and buy something. And we had a resolution for every time we went and bought something. I mean, there was government capital wouldn't let us give us the money until there was a resolution to purchase the equipment. So there's some things in there that schools operate differently on than what we do. And those are some of the differences that I have. But again, it's just a matter of explaining to Mr. Bowman how we operate and function.
I don't mind negative feedback, and I'm used to it. I get audited every year whether I want to or not. So, and I expect some level of feedback on how to improve our operations, but, that needs to be on the basis from an audit perspective and
Yes.
not from a business perspective was really a lot of my issue.
Yeah.
Or being compared to something that we're not, we're not an education system or government entity of education. So we have different.
Well, we
Awesome.
operate a little bit differently because we have utilities that functionally could be looked at as for-profit entities.
Their enterprise fund,
They're
yes.
enterprise level operations, and they fund services
Yes,
that don't
Right.
ever bring anything in.
parks, stand.
Well, stand good tickets.
But anyway, one thing we do need to do is act fairly quickly because the fiscal is already 60 days out. We need to get on one of these two schedules at some point.
Well, I'd be comfortable if we could modify the acceptance with a cap and see if that was agreeable.
You want to set the cap at? The way we could do it, if you accept you put the cap at X number, and then you can direct me to negotiate with one of them. If that negotiation doesn't work out, then the default is Mr. Bowman. But if that cap number is acceptable to Fullerton, then that would be the choice. Is that kind of how this?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'd be comfortable with that.
Sounds good to me.
Your thoughts?
Well, I'm new here, so I just looked at that monetary amount. But she is evidently you, and I respect you with your financial background, Philip, in your opinion.
Well, I appreciate that.
But, so you're kind of leaning that way, right?
Well, I'm leaning towards, but again, I have that issue of, it's not worth $7,000,
Right.
right? But it might be worth $2,000. My phone is on silent. It's my watch that's not on silent. But, it might be worth $2,000 to me,
Right.
but it's not worth $7,000. I mean, personally, I'd be comfortable with 20 because that's what we have budgeted. But, other than that,
No.
I don't know that I would go that high.
We may have an answer in a second.
Oh.
you know, this is my second audit with Bowman. He did point some things out that we needed to correct, and we did a lot of those things immediately. Line item transfers, he wanted a kind of a motion, almost like the county government of how we do line item transfers. Separation of controls, separation of responsibilities. The same person that does the deposit doesn't take it to the bank. And you know, the same person who writes the check doesn't reconcile the bank statements. We're making a change there starting Wednesday, actually. We have hired Beverly Everett on a part-time basis. She's retired from the bank. She's going to come in, help us actually prepare for this audit, as well as reconcile bank statements, which is one of the things that he wanted us to work on. The one thing he and I probably had the biggest, I don't want to say disagreement. He's right to a certain extent, but he's also unrealistic to a certain extent. He wanted our reserve and our fund balance to increase. And I think everybody wants their reserve and fund balance to increase. You know, he made the comment the school had a healthy fund balance. Well, the school's got reportedly $10 million in their fund balance. My view on that is, if I have that kind of fund balance, we're not providing the services that our customers are looking for. And so clearly we need to do a better job of saving for a rainy day, if you will. But we also have some things we got to get accomplished and get done as well.
But some of that could be interpreted as he being a good steward of our monies.
Well, I mean, just like the last time he was like, well, you just need to raise the water bills. I'm like,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, that's our business. That's our side of the fence. You stay on your side of the fence.
That's right.
The fact was, and you said it this way, you're a bean counter. If you need to count the beans and tell us where our beans are, you don't need to be telling us what to do with them. You know, that's basically what it comes down to.
We could have called it the Richard Bowman water increase. You want to put that out there?
But his phone number.
It is that way.
But again, you know, Ricky had some suggestions and we acted on them. And Ricky's right, we're going to disagree on the amount of fund balance, but I agree that it needs to increase. But at some point, you have to decide if you're not going to buy water, or if you're not going to run the plant, or are you going to pay the debt service? Things of that nature. Those are things that we do. Running a city, especially on the enterprise side, is very much a cash flow business. And I think everybody here is fully aware of how that operates. And so the water and sewer fund specifically is cash flow. And if we don't sell enough water, then we don't put the pipe in the ground. And that's just how we operate the city. We're not, you know, just because we got a project on the books, if we don't have the money, we don't have the money. And we also forecast out and look out. I believe she said she could, I'm confirming this. And as soon as she responds back, she can drop down to 20K.
The fundamental issue, from my perspective, has been, we've been in a hole. We got tied in the middle of the pool. We can't afford to drop that contract. That water's expensive. Our lake was going dry. We were, you know, single digits not too many months ago, and we were combating that over the last few years. And so to come in at that point at juncture in time and say, well, you guys aren't charging enough for water, but we have some of the highest water rates around here because of the structure of what we have right now. And so right now we're trying to make it to where perhaps in 10 years, we have some of the cheapest water, or 12 years, we have some of the cheapest water around here. And we have it in plentiful amounts. But we're gonna have to make sacrifices today and run it kind of tight and really watch what we do. Because there's just, out there, there's no alternatives for water. I mean, we have scratched turned over every rock.
If everything is clean, and both of you think of any reason why it wouldn't be clean, then she can do it for $20,000.
We've never not had clean.
Never. I think clean means she has to spend an inordinate amount of time down here preparing everything else.
But if you already have Beverly who's gonna get things prepared and with her banking
Yeah,
experience.
it'll be clean.
So pretty smooth.
Feeling organized.
Mhm.
Is that confirmation came in the form of a text?
Right here, yes, sir. Would you like to read it?
No. Trust you.
He did go to tech. I just-
Well, I'm just used to hearing Hillary Clinton.
Well, hey, listen, but he's a politician in that box, you know.
Check.
Well, there's gonna be a screenshot of this conversation, and then I'll make sure that Mr. Van Zandt puts it on the C drive.
Russia is not involved, right?
Well, his name is Van Zandt.
German.
He's German Russian.
So I'll make that motion that we accept Jayla at a cap of not to exceed $20,000 for the 2016-2017 audit.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Awesome. Right, consider approval of building permits. We should have on page 2. And Corey, did we already do Mr. Chambliss?
He actually, see where the green ones are up there?
Where, what is that?
Yeah, where the
Okay.
green ones are, those are the ones that y'all approved, the last meeting or the one before.
Okay,
And now he wants to put 4 more in right there where the yellow ones are marked.
okay. So this is an additional one, not the same one. Okay, that was my question, is I thought we'd already done it. Thank you, sir.
And then the other one, that gentleman wants to put, just a large carport on that second lot there. He owns both of those.
Where the little house is, you guys?
Basically, yeah, where that's at.
Any questions?
Everything meets the,
Everything's good?
make the motion to approve the building permits.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right. Here, the police activity monthly report from Chief Stanley Maresch.
We had 309 calls for the month, 2 of them being accidents, total of 30 reports taken and 11 arrests made. One of them being a DWI, curfew violations. I had 76 citations with a little over $5,600 in court funds. We did, we had a company come in to do calendars for the police department. Here's a couple of them for council. So, ended up being a good deal. I can't remember how many calendars we have to pass out. They went in and got all the ads for all the local businesses and to put on the calendar. And, we ended up, receiving a check from the calendar company for $800 for our training, which in turn, I'm gonna turn that into, buying stuff for the kids, teaching kids on 911, stranger danger, buying Halloween bags, you know, sticker badges, stuff like that. So,
Awesome.
we have hired 2 brand new officers. One is fixing to start Monday. Justin Marlowe's, will start Monday. Timothy Mercer will start at the beginning of the year. He's currently employed with Tom Green County, so he has to fulfill his time there and come here. So, it was, we stretched him out pretty well, took him through 2 interviews, and that was the 2 best that were interviewed. And I do believe that both of them will do a good job for Ballinger City.
Are they from San Angelo?
Timothy Mercer actually lives in Romina. He drives back and forth to San Angelo. Justin Amaro is actually from Haskell. Went to the academy there in Abilene. And as far as he told me, he found an apartment. Gonna move in Friday and he'll be ready to work Monday. So, going through that process right now.
This one from Haskell was in today coming out of paperwork, so.
Now, does Tim have to move to Ballinger if he's living in Rowena?
Technically, I don't think we can make him move. He just won't have a take-home car.
Okay. Well, I was asking because I know there was a 10-mile, is that right?
Yeah, I can't
Or 10
remember, I can't remember what the mileage is on it.
Okay.
But as long as he's not back up, it has to be on call.
Right.
And he can't take his vehicle home. He'll have to leave the vehicle at the station.
So that's gonna be his call whether he moves into town or not.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
then we are currently looking for an office assistant right now. We've got 4 applications in. Hopefully he's gonna set up interviews at the end of the week and go from there.
Awesome.
So, other than that, that's about it.
Anybody have any other questions, concerns? Awesome.
And,
Anything from us?
hopefully, once Justin settles down, hopefully I can bring him in next council meeting.
Okay.
And then, of course, Timothy will be next year.
Okay.
So,
First week of January or something, or?
probably, I'm not quite sure,
That's fine.
on the exact date yet, so. All right.
Awesome.
Alright.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right, bid to see administrator's bi-weekly report, please.
Okay, you have your financial statement for the period ending November 30, 2016 in front of you. Bob, I don't know if you ever received anything like this on your previous.
Not quite like that.
It's always baseball.
I did,
Sweet. If things go right, I end up taking the credit. If things go wrong, it's one you will get a detailed, obviously 15 pages, sometimes it's longer, of all the ins and outs. You're going to get the current budget, current actual, that's what we spent from November 1 to November 30. And you get your annual budget, that's what we budgeted, and then your year-to-date actuals. And then you got your percentage of budget remaining. And so that's kind of some of the things. We are over, expenditures have exceeded revenues in general fund, YTD by 115,000. But that number is going to come down as we get our tax revenue in. That number will be blown up tremendously in December and January and February. So that's when we get 9% of our tax money. But I will say our sales tax money is very, very high, and I alluded to that last time. We are essentially at 24% of our sales tax budgeted amount after 2 months, and so that is phenomenal. And as I said before, that's a direct correlation to the hard work of the small business owners that we have here in town. One of the things, if you look on the police department expenditures, you see the chief's salary. That's what we owe Mark for vacation, sick, some of the other things, the package that we needed. Are we paying Stan out of that line item too?
yes.
Okay. So if you notice, if you see sergeants, which is down 5024, that number hasn't been touched in a while. And so that's one of those line item transfers we'll move money over to take care of Stan.
In the fire department, on the personal equipment, we had budgeted 2,500 and spent 8,200 basically.
They went and got, that's that grant they got, correct?
Yeah. So that's gonna be paid back?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that was, we front the money, and then I think it's the Forest Service or somebody, we'll get a check in 90 days or 120 days. Yeah, that was the other check mark I had on here too.
What is AirMed?
HEREBY is the helicopter.
Yeah, I understand that. But is that
It's a benefit.
Yeah,
a benefit?
yes, sir.
People pay that much.
Oh, is that right?
Do your water bill. It's tied to the water bill, so therefore you can pay it on your water bill, and then it goes to AirMed, and then you're on their plan.
Really?
Yes.
We offer that.
We get a form at the desk, and then we tie it in, and that's how it goes through their system.
Wow.
And that's offered to the community at large. So it's
That's
not,
a very expensive ride.
It can be.
But you pay that fee, and it includes your family or those within your household.
That's great.
2 years ago, 3 years ago, they told me that's right. Oh, yeah.
so, any questions on the, and I apologize for not getting to you sooner. One of the things, Bob, is the system will not let us run a report until the first of the month. And so, there will be some months where you don't get them on the first meeting, you'll get them on the second. And I apologize for that, that's just the way our system works. I don't show up and my daughter scores points.
Sidebar.
Sidebar, yes, sir. Way in the plane, I understand. Any questions on the financials?
Sam, could we budget some singing lessons?
That's gonna come under professional.
They won't do anything.
Comes under, Bo enjoys my singing.
Bo enjoys your
Bo
singing.
enjoys it. She loves it
If
when I
if we had oil on city property, we still would not have enough money to make it happen.
That's terrible. That is so rude.
And this is the first time you said that, Chris.
It's the joy in his heart, regardless of what happens.
That's it, make a joyful noise.
It's just an expression, you know?
deeply.
No, we appreciate your expression, enjoy.
Yes, yes. And
Not
those,
Enthusiasm, his
Your
passion,
expression,
and his
yeah.
joy.
those expressions are fleeting.
Are you gonna?
Yes, we're not, yes.
Hey, shouldn't say.
Okay, there is a CRMWD public hearing on February the 2nd. This is to adopt part of the state regional water plan. I will probably go to that, if nothing else, to be a continuing pain in the backside of Mr. Grant and his agency. This is the state water plan that nobody reads, that everybody thinks is ultimately important. At one point, I tried to get one of our water strategies was mining water off of Mars, just to see if somebody pay attention to it. But that, we just got that letter today. We had sent a letter or correspondence to TxDOT about a month ago, and then last week we had a follow-up meeting with the district engineer and another vice president of the district. We talked about the railroad signal equipment on 58 that's being installed right now. We have a tentative offer that's being worked out to where if we close 10th Street, they will do $150,000 of in-kind work for us in town. Most likely, they're going to recommend that they will pay to put an arm bar up on 8th Street as well, if we decide to close 10th Street. If we do not decide to close 10th Street, I don't know what the backup plan is, but that's a decision that, you know, you guys need to be thinking about, but we probably won't have to make that decision for a couple of months.
The only thing is, if they close off 10th Street and you got 13th, you got 8th, if there's an emergency,
Yeah.
it's gonna take them just a little longer to get to you.
And that was one of the questions that we had. Stan, you want to weigh in on response time if 10th Street's shut down?
If there's a train in town, our response time sucks. Because we have to go all the way out, go up to Lee Bridge and go. I have not had time to, go and see if there's gonna be a time difference. I doubt there's gonna be very little, for the simple fact that you have 8th and 13th and Broadway.
8th and 13th are taking 10th, taking.
Yeah. So, I doubt there's gonna be any on their response time unless it's right there on 10th Street, and we have to come back and circle around. So, I mean, 10th Street is not so much as our emergency route because of all the dips. You know, normally 11th, 8th is our best routes. So, I mean, we can get there a little bit quicker and not have to slow down for all the bumps and everything. And go from there.
8th and 11th?
8th, Broadway, 8th, and 11th
Best
now.
streets.
13th is not so bad, but of course, yeah, that big dip right
You
there.
got one day.
But I'm saying if 10th is closed off, then you gotta try to work your way back over to 11th.
Yeah.
Either way, so,
So,
We also asked for a traffic signal. They said they would do a study if we sent in an official request. This is at FM 2133 US 67, out by Mueller's, but it's right there at Parsons. We also talked about egress and egress on the frontage road in front of Sonic, Walmart, and the clinic right there.
Killjoy.
Yeah, Killjoy. That frontage road presents a number of challenges because it's two-way. And so, and then down and opposite, not so much, but past Jehovah's Witness Church, if you're heading down towards the cemetery, that's a two-way, and that presents a number of challenges as well. And so, if that was to ever develop, we're going to have the exact same problem that we have on the other side of 67. So we had some discussions about that. We also had discussions about lowering the speed limit from 50 to 45 right there at Walmart. Basically, as you come in from Rowena, set everything back 5 miles an hour until you get to town, and then either before you get on the bridge or right over the bridge, set everything at 30. That way, when you come into town, it's consistent. It's 30 miles an hour coming off of the Winters Bridge, coming off the Colorado Bridge at 83, or coming off the Colorado Bridge at 67. Everything coming through town is at 30 miles per hour. And so they seem to almost be in agreement of that request. But again, they got their flagpoles, they have to run it up, and so on and so
And
forth.
if we had put our 2 cents in, and you got one, I guess the largest employer, sitting there in the 50 mile per hour zone, and when we let prefab out, you've got a bunch of guys trying to go home, and those cars are booking it. And for whatever reason, traffic's really increased in town.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it can become pretty dangerous. You know, there's a lot of little near misses here and there. And especially for those folks that have to turn left out of that.
Yes.
Out of there, it can become problematic. You just gotta sit there and wait.
Well, that was their big concern, is they thought we were trying to get a whole lot of the speed limit changed. We were like, no, we'd really just like you to back it out of town.
Well, when I'm using the stoplight, that's what everybody was in favor for, you know.
Yeah.
Just put the stoplight up there, because that slows everything down.
Right,
Yeah.
And then you're paying attention,
right,
as opposed to coming in on autopilot,
right.
and you're just basically getting.
That's exactly.
Right.
That's exactly.
But, I mean, because I thought the same thing, I thought everybody's speeding, but they're not, they're just doing 50. And 50 seems really fast when you're standing still.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Stan would let anybody sit out there in the Tahoe with him and put a gun up and you know, we can start writing tickets for 51 and 50 if you want to. But I just, they have their own internal processes to determine the traffic light. I don't know if the data they're going to collect there is going to warrant that. But I think the best thing is that we can slow the traffic down and then have enhanced law enforcement or have an enhanced enforcement practice or tactic there. I think that would definitely curtail some of the speeding. But right now, you're not speeding at 50. And it's a problem, especially when you guys let out on Chip. So, the last thing we did was we requested for benches, trash receptacles, and then the banners. You know, we put street lights up on along Hutchins and do banners similar to what Winters has and try to replicate their downtown area. And he was very, very open to that concept of that's something that's needed. We used littering as one of the one of the reasons currently there's no trash receptacles on Hutchins. And so as patrons walk in and out of stores or whatever, they may just throw it, just start littering because there's no trash can. And that was the thing that got them interested. And I think we're going to get some sort of resolution for benches, banners, and trash cans. But that was a productive meeting. I think, don't you think, Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Brush truck came in last week. We have named it the Melissa. Continuing our tradition of naming equipment after employees. It's named the Melissa Getz.
So just name it the Gets.
It is being registered. We got all the paperwork in today, so it's being registered, and it should go out sometime this week to start collecting brush. We have a stack that big of service orders, and so we will be jumping on top of that, getting that done forthwith. I am on Wednesday going to be with the Water Development Board at a work session. They want to know why rural Texas doesn't like them and how can they provide better customer service.
They're just gonna set aside one day for that?
I was gonna ask if you were gonna join.
Well, it's interesting that they're having a select roundtable discussion, and 3 of the engineers that they selected highly recommended that I attend and join the discussion. So I will, Bo told me to be nice to him.
Right, I mean, well,
And I'm right.
just transparency.
That's, well,
I mean, if we knew what they wanted, we could have given it to them a long time ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Transparency is an issue.
yes.
Communication and transparency.
You know, if we're gonna run political issues, let us know up front. Don't let us get all the way down the road.
Then,
And then, yeah,
full
exactly.
road.
One of the things they want to know is why do rural communities not apply for SWIFT funds? And I tell them SWIFT funds is just another loan program to these cities. And if you don't have any sort of grant component, it doesn't really do any good to apply. And so to date, they've only funded 2 projects west of I-35, which I'm going to take their own data and use it against them. One was in El Paso, and the other one was in Marfa. And the city of Marfa actually tried to get out of it because the loan program was more costly than the grant program they could get from USDA. So that's on my schedule for this week. We're going to try to organize some sort of Christmas party similar to what we did last year. I'm sure Bonita is just waiting at the bit to get that done for us. But when we know, we'll let you know. The next meeting is scheduled to be on December the 19th. If we have anything pressing, we'll call the meeting. If not, do y'all want to meet that week? It's the week of Christmas.
There's nothing on the agenda. I don't know when we can meet unless we just want to have fellowship.
Well, I was thinking that might be a great time for the Christmas party.
Don't go there.
Well, see, Bob, we do things differently around here.
Break out in song.
Yeah, I know.
You are very,
I don't know if I can take that.
We're going to be doing,
I'll tell you what to hear good secrets.
Well, see, fellowship is not one way. See, fellowship has to be multiple directions.
That's,
Hey, there's more of us than there is of
You
him.
guys were back, didn't you, when you played that music?
we're going to be doing karaoke.
Oh,
at
no,
the Christmas
nobody's gonna show up.
That's not fellowship, that's torture.
You will sit and leave after they eat.
No. The council is going to be doing karaoke.
Whatever.
We're going to have Eb doing Rapper's Delight.
Kid's gonna eat, notice.
So. All right, Mr. Mayor, that concludes my
I
report.
wanna mention this. This is not-
Oh, yes. Vibe is actually in my office today, and they're going, and I told the gentleman, I said, y'all have a great internet service, but I don't know of anybody who actually uses them for TV broadcasts. Do y'all know of anyone who doesn't have DirecTV or Dish Network that uses Vive for their
No, but
video.
they're all moving in this direction. Rise, that's what Rise is calling that too. They're gonna start offering TV.
TV, but they're gonna offer it through the internet,
Yes.
through your internet pack, yeah. This is the standard, this is the old school cable.
Mhm.
They're gonna go up 87 cents on a monthly increase. There really isn't much of an option for us. We can appeal to the Public Utilities Commission and,
So Vibe took over from Frontier, whoever else had it?
Frontier has phone, Vibe
No,
has,
somebody took over the cable.
but that's Vibe.
Who was it before
Was it
Vibe?
Southern Link or something?
No, it was not Suddenly, because we would have nice service.
It wasn't Rise, it was something else.
It was something else.
Started with Unwire.
Did it?
Rhino, maybe?
No, not right now.
Vibe has been here, because when I moved here, I looked at TV cable.
They have physical cable?
Yes.
Vibe does?
Yes,
Yes.
they're using the cable through Terra.
Well, Vibe's an offshoot of Suddenly, right? I mean, aren't they related somehow?
They hadn't said that.
Vibe buys out small systems.
There you go. There you go.
They buy small,
Oh, I think they buy their services from off of Suddenly at Abilene.
probably.
Because we-
To do with allegiance.
Yeah,
Allegiance, that's who it was.
that's what it was.
That's who it was.
Yeah.
Allegiance is who they got theirs from, because actually the two techs that are with mine
Uh-huh.
actually used to be with Allegiance.
Okay, so Vibe bought it from Allegiance.
There you go, that's the one it was.
I don't know that many people that actually.
Yeah,
have
and,
cable.
and so, well, if they do, they're gonna see a monthly increase of 87 cents. We can fight it if you want to, but I just don't think that you can do it this week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's part of the service.
Well, you can always appeal to the Public Utility Commission, and they can always forget your appeal.
Yep. Very good. Right, any questions, concerns for Mr. Graham? Yes, sir.
Everybody good?
Right, here, request for future agenda items from city councils. Anybody have anything else they'd like to get on the agenda, please? Nobody. Everybody today in no? Nobody has anything right now? All righty. Ballinger City Council should meet in executive session as authorized by Texas Government Code Section 551.071. Consultation with city attorney, update on alternative water project. Also, personal matters, 551.074, personal matters with Mr. Grant for performance evaluation of city administrator.